ready to play tomorrow. We haven't had many of these, had a couple of tough games here, and if I know our guys will respond.
And so after a couple of tough losses to the Angels, Buck Showalter wants to see what his team is made of. Don't you? Well, don't change that channel. Watch the Birds get back on track tonight. The Indians come to town to begin a 4-game series, and Game 1 starts right now on MASN. The Orioles are on MASN on a hot Thursday night in downtown Baltimore. Yep, vote orange. Today, the final day to vote for the All-Star team. The Orioles welcome in the Cleveland Indians. It's Game 1 of a 4-game series. And hi, everyone. I'm Jim Hunter. Thanks for joining us. Every Major League Baseball season is a series of peaks and valleys, streaks and slumps, and how you interpret the numbers. Now, the Orioles, over the past week and a half, have had trouble scoring runs. But if you look at their record overall, there are surprises and really some revealing numbers to look at. Now, when the Orioles have scored 5 runs or more, they have been outstanding. 30 wins, in fact, when they score 4 or more in a game, 14th best in the 30 teams in Major League Baseball. When they score 3 or less, just 11 and 23. We were surprised to see those 11 wins, most in the American League and third most in Major League Baseball. But over the past 9 days, it has been a challenge. The Orioles have scored 3 runs or less over the past 9 games, 81 runs total in June for an average of just 3.5. They are near the bottom of Major League Baseball scoring runs in June, and what that has done, that has put extra pressure on the starting pitching, and you see the Orioles starter ERA in June is 4.93, 25th in Major League Baseball. And Jim Palmer, when you look at those numbers, I was surprised that 11 wins with 3 runs or less leading the American League, but the key there, it's all about the starting pitching. If your starters are giving up near 5, you have to score 6. That's a tough ratio to go day in and day out.
Yeah, right, and the Orioles are 12 and 11 in the month of June. Last year they had 1 winning month, so they'd like to have 3 in a row. I look at it very simply. We know that the common denominator is the bullpen. So the bottom line is Chen has pitched very well in his last 7 starts, 6 times 3 runs or less. When they get him runs, he wins games. He's 7-3. So again, it seems so simple. Then Cleveland comes in. They've lost 5 in a row. The Orioles have lost the last 2 against an Angel team that came in here on a rampage. And we know the Orioles' last 3 wins, 2-0, 2-1, 2-1. So, again, I'd like to be able to tell you how it's going to play out tonight, but I can tell you both of these teams, they're hoping to get hot against teams that haven't been playing well, and that's the Indians and the Orioles.
Yeah, when you look at this 4-game series, it's the Orioles' final series before they go on the road. It's a week leading up to the All-Star break next week in Seattle, and then 4 in Los Angeles against the Angels. So you have the Orioles, they're looking to get healthy on the Indians, but the Indians, they're looking the same way. They're coming in there saying, you know what, Orioles aren't scoring runs. We have a chance to turn our season around.
Right, and the Orioles are 8th in runs scored. They're 9th. So again, this is a team. The one thing the Orioles do, both collectively, starters and especially the bullpen, other than Chris Perez, their all-star closer, guy that leads the American League, is the bullpen has again been outstanding. So again, it's a get-well series for both of these teams, and both of the teams saying, here we are almost in the month of July, and we have yet to play the other team. First time they've seen the Indians all year long.
And the Orioles made a roster move before the game tonight. Xavier Avery is back. Nick Johnson, with that sprained wrist, goes to the disabled list. You were talking last night about the obvious difference in speed on the Angels, so the Orioles go right out. They bring Avery up, and oh yes, he brings his speed with him.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is a young impact player. I see Xavier Avery, and I look at Al Bumbry, and Al had maybe a little bit better numbers in minor leagues, but he comes back in his first year, Rookie of the Year, hits 337, and then has a marvelous Major League career. So you need to get an opportunity for Xavier. Here's another one.
So tonight it's the opening game of the 4-game series, final series of the homestand before the Orioles head out on the road. The Indians are in town. Lineups and first pitch are coming up. On Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Jeep. Jeep and the unique brand of freedom you'll find only in the full line of Jeep vehicles. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. Thursday night downtown, and summer has returned. Time for our game time temperature, all brought to you by Train. Visit Train.com for an independent Train comfort specialist dealer near you. It's hard to stop a Train. 97 degrees, but yet, Jim, the luscious humidity is still at 24%. Time now for the Dodge starting lineups for the Cleveland Indians. See your authorized Dodge dealer and experience a world of performance, design, and fuel efficiency. Schedule a test drive or go to Dodge.com and check out our powerful lineup. Sin-Soo Choo will lead off. He's in right field tonight, coming off a good month. 297, 3 home runs, and 7 RBIs. A lot of speed at the top of the lineup. As Drupal Cabrera, Jason Kipnis, and Jose Lopez. Michael Brantley in center field, and Shelley Duncan will DH. The veteran Johnny Damon in left field. Jack Hanahan at third. Lou Marson, the catcher, will bat ninth.
And our AFCIA Intelligent Report, visit AFCIA.org, the Association for IT Pros. Well, out of this world, he does come from a different world, born in Taiwan, pitched in Japan. He comes to a different culture, and he's been terrific, really giving the Orioles a lot of quality starts on the board. Scored some runs for him, 3 runs, 6 out of the last 7 games or less, only 19 runs in his last 7 starts. And the other thing, I think the whole world and the Indians with their advanced scouts know he has a good fastball. He's very deceptive. The ball jumps on you. So have the changeup and the curveball, which he did not have in his last start against the Nationals over the weekend. But again, look at those numbers. He throws a lot of strikes. He's very athletic. He's hard to run on. When he does throw home runs, most of them are solo home runs, which is a good habit to get into. A lot of quality innings, giving you an opportunity to win just about every time out.
And Chen ready to work, and he deals high to Sin-Soo Choo. And it's 1-0, and this is an intriguing matchup for these two guys. Sin-Soo Choo, you see his numbers at 275. He is 5 for his last 19. And he swings through it 1-1. You have Sin-Soo Choo at the plate, who is from Busan, South Korea, and Wei-Yin Chen on the mound, who is from Taiwan. So in the Asian Rim, this matchup here certainly getting a lot of attention. The 1-1 is fouled back, and it's 1-2.
And we're going to see 90 to 92, and we're going to see, just as the Nationals, I mean, he's pitched against just about, I mean, all the teams. First team he pitched against was the Yankees. He's had the Red Sox, the Rangers, and again, they're all surprised with his stuff.
And Sin-Soo Choo surprised at the call of Joe West, but Chen will take it. There's a strikeout to begin the game and 1 away.
Well, again, you're wondering what the strike zone is going to be, and that's just a knee-high strike right down the middle. Last night we saw a very wondering strike zone with Kerwin Danley. It was embarrassingly bad. But tonight, okay, Joe West says, you know what? Hey, I'm over the catcher. I'm going to call the low strike, and we'll see if it's that way all night long.
As Drupal Cabrera, the switch hitter, batting right. First ball hitting right to J.J. Hardy, and the sure-handed shortstop fires at the first. And 2 quick outs in the first inning. 1 pitch out, so you got to love them.
So the Orioles with the most errors in the American League. Tampa with 64, the O's with 66. Avery comes back out of AAA Norfolk. He's in left. Jones, Flaherty, the Rule 5 guy, plays everywhere in right field. Betemeet, Hardy, Roberts, Mark Reynolds over at first, and the Gold Glover, Matt Wieters, once again. Seems like he catches every day or night.
Yeah, he pretty much does. Paulino started 2 games in the last 18, including tonight. Here's Jason Kipnis, making a bid for an all-star berth.
Second-year player, and he can do a lot of things. He can steal bases, drive in runners, hitting 380 with runners in scoring position. You see right there, makes you throw it over. Good line drive hitter with occasional power, and this is going to be one of those hitters count at 2-0.
Yeah, misses low, ball 3.
Yeah, Chen actually the batting average lower against righties than lefties. 255 against right-handers, 264 against lefties, and 6 home runs by right-handed batters, 3 home runs by the lefties.
And the 3-0 is right there for a strike. 3-1. Well, Kipnis has come into his own. He's 25 years old. Indians drafted him in the 2nd round back in 2009. 3-1 is hit the center field. Adam Jones is right there, waits for it, And he'll put it away. So a real strong start for Wei Yin Chen. The Indians go 3 up and 3 down. Indians fail to score. We go to the bottom of the first. Here come the Birds. In the bottom of the first, and a look at the Southwest Airlines starting lineups for the Birds. Brian Roberts, Xavier Avery, and J.J. Hardy batting third tonight. 305, a home run, 9 RBIs against the Indians. Then Adam Jones and Chris Davis. Matt Wieters will catch. Wilson Betemeter's red hot. Mark Reynolds and Ryan Flaherty in right field batting ninth.
And take a look at our AFC intelligence report on the 24-year-old right-hander back in the big leagues. He just arrived today. Good stuff. 4 pitches, 92 to 94. Goodbye, Columbus. 12-3 there last year, 5-2 this year. And then damage control. Didn't throw any home runs in his last 29 2/3 innings down there. And again, a big guy with good stuff. And if he throws the ball downhill, we'll probably get hitters out.
And he gets a ground ball off the bat of Roberts right to Kipnis. And one down here and a couple of pitches in the first inning.
Well, there are the numbers. I mean, pretty neutral right there. And again, this will be his 5th major league start this year. White Sox, Boston, Seattle, and Detroit. So the Indians come in, what, at 37 and 37? They have beaten the Tigers 5 out of 6 games. And he pitched one of them, got a no decision.
Xavier Avery back in the bigs, and he takes a strike. Xavier was sent down when the Orioles were in Toronto. That was on May the 28th. In fact, that was his last game, and then was sent down. And that was because he was 0 for 3, 1 for his last 16, and 3 for his last 28.
Well, what happened? He had a little early success, and then all of a sudden they would throw him some breaking balls. He would chase. He'd get into those counts, and once they got ahead, they were able to throw breaking balls out of the strike zone. So right here, if you're Xavier, you like this count. Let's see if McAllister will throw something other than a fastball behind in the count.
There's a bloop down the left field line. On the run is Johnny Damon. Won't get there, but it's foul.
So you get an idea. Again, McAllister at about 6'4". I had just happened to be talking to some of the coaches, and Manny acted the manager, and he walked in. He's a big guy.
Yeah. There's Manny,
yeah,
one-time Nationals manager.
So they've lost 5 in a row. And a couple in Houston Interleague, and then they went up to New York, where the Yankees are 19-5 in the month of June. Not a good time to be playing them.
Xavier hitting 8 of his last 10 games with Norfolk at a .333 clip. And a liner towards the middle. There's Cabrera. He spins and turns and throws across, and a nice scoop on the back end by Lopez, and 2 men down. Nice play by Asdrubal Cabrera.
Take a look at the Indians defense. We talked about all the areas. The Orioles, Cleveland's what, 5th in the eras, only 41 on the year. Damon, Brantley, Chu. Brantley and Chu can go get him. Johnny Damon is more of a DH. Hanahan, who led all the third basemen in field, he presented Cabrera, Kipnis, Lopez, and then Lou Marston does the catching.
The 2 downers, J.J. Hardy moves down to the number 3 spot tonight. And he looks over it inside 1-0. And of course, we've been talking about the slump that he's in. April, 3 home runs. May was really good, 7. Just 1 home run in the month of June. And for JJ, he's looking for the base hit. You see his last 10 games, he is 4 for his last 41 with 7 strikeouts. So a 0.98 clip. And then last night he was robbed twice.
Right. And if you just looked at the numbers, you'd say, oh, he didn't have a good night last night, but he actually did. I was kidding. I said, actually your best at bat is that little looper that doink you hit into right field, because they didn't catch it. And there's the strike that to Chu was a strike and low to J.J. Hardy. So we've had back-to-back good hitting counts, and we'll see if McAllister's stuff's good enough to be able to get by that.
There's line drive to the gap in left center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. And it'll bounce against the wall. And Hardy's going to cruise into second base with a 2-out double. So there's the result. Relaxing a little bit. A couple of loud outs last night, Rob. And a good solid line drive for a 1-out or for a 2-out double.
Well, Jim Presley, they've been doing a lot of work. He told them to relax. I had a long talk with him today because, I spent 20 years trying to get guys like J.J. Hardy out. And we all know. And I told him today, I said, the world knows you're a good hitter. 30 home runs put a big bullet on your chest. So I said, you just have to, till you get to 2 strikes, get good pitches to hit. You're swinging a lot more breaking balls, and he works the count into his favor and then just doesn't miss it. And that is the key to getting hot.
Our Nissan Pitch Track close a great deal now on your new Nissan. Hurry, the door to your opportunity closes July the 2nd as Adam Jones takes ball 1.
When you broadcast for a team, you get to know guys. I don't mean that you become their best friends, but there's no better guy than Adam Jones or J.J. Hardy. I mean, the Orioles are very lucky that they have talented players, but they also have good guys. So you kind of root for them, and you hope they get back on track.
Fly ball right center field. Brantley and Chu. Who's it going to be? It looks like both of them. Then Chu calls it at the last moment, and the inning ends. So 2-out double, a man left. We'll head to the second at Camden Yards. Indians and O's, no score. Is presented by Luna. Call for the Luna Double and get your second room of flooring free. Call 877-241-LUNA. Well, there's the bar out there in center field. Always a popular spot. Wei-Yin Chen, 10 pitches, 10 fastballs.
Well, so let's forget what was one of my keys? Off speed? Well,
that's for this inning.
Well, no, yeah, off speed except in the first inning. He did really.
Wait, was that on there?
He pitched a great game, 7 shutout innings down in Atlanta, and actually he used his curveball a lot, and then threw it about 6% of the time. And then against Washington, even though he pitched well, only the home run to Adam LaRoche, their first baseman, high fly ball to right center field. It just kept going, but he only threw 2% curveball, so got a really good changeup. So excuse me, Jim, but if you throw a lot of fastballs and changeups, it makes each of those pitches better.
Jose Lopez, an unlikely cleanup hitter. He is 5 for his last 42. But he's batting right-handed and facing Wei-Yin Chen. You see 4 for 33 in his last 11 games. Ball 3.
Well, I think the one thing we're going to have to look with Wei-Yin Chen, I mean, it's not humid tonight, but get ready for some hot, humid weather. And that's what pitching in Baltimore and in the Northeast is, and even in the Midwest in the summer. And you have to get used to it. You have to condition yourself not only cardiovascularly but also feel, because you know, perspiration. And this is pretty mild tonight because of the lack of humidity you talked about. There's a good pitch.
Well, the Orioles tonight again have the 9-man bullpen. Even with the roster move, the bench is unchanged, so it's a 3-man bench. And Tommy Hunter likely again is the guy behind Chen early on. And there's a base hit to left field for Lopez. So he fell behind 3-0, got it back full. And a leadoff single for Jose Lopez. Indians have their first base runner. Well, let's get a look at our worth repeating for Wei-Yin Chen as he makes the start here tonight, his 15th of the year. I didn't pitch good, and I didn't have good control and good command, and they found out about it right away. So that was about his start against the Nationals. However, I think he's a little hard on himself because, as you say, if Wilson Betemit makes a throw, the inning ends, 2 runs don't score, which they did on that bad throw, and he gives up just the home run, the 1 run.
But they also, and this is a trend lately, not only for the Orioles, but when Chen pitches, they only got him 1 run. Edwin Jackson outpitched him because he was really good.
Here's a breaking ball that just misses. 1-0 on Michael Brantley. Kind of interesting, the lineup tonight that Manny Acta is using. Despite Chen on the mound, he's got 5 left-handed batters in there.
Well, the other day against Kuroda, they played 9. They're left-handed heavy because they're their best players.
Ball 2.
So it looked like the curveball was a strike, and that one just missed a little bit away. So again, you saw Lopez got to see 5 straight fastballs because he got behind him and he hit the 6th one.
Infield looking for a ground ball for 2, and it's well off the plate. Ball 3.
So again, hot, not quite as humid. So feel. Can you feel the ball? And Matt Wieters sees something. You know, a lot of times you'll see catchers will actually just kind of lift their arm up to get on top more. But this is part of Baltimore. Boy, you need to do your work outside. It's the only way you can acclimate yourself to the conditions that you're going to see now, pretty much all the way to the middle of September.
3-0 on back-to-back hitters and 3 consecutive going back to last inning, and there is a strike on the outside corner.
Because Wei-Yin Chen is all about staying out of the middle of the plate. Not only with his fastball, he does it very well, but again the change-up and the occasional breaking ball. So again, another good hitter's count, and what you want to stay, and we saw what the Angels did, scoring 20 runs in 2 games, that 1st and 3rd. Did it all night long.
And there's ball 4 inside. So a single and a walk. And the Indians have 2 on with none down in the 2nd inning. The Maryland Lottery Strike It Rich contestant of the game is James Greenwood of Westminster. James has already won $500, and for every strikeout the Orioles pitch during the game tonight, James wins $100 more from the Maryland Lottery. See how you can turn non-winning Strike It Rich scratch-offs into cash and enter to win great Orioles prizes. MDLottery.com/strikeitrich. And there's a strike taken by Shelley Duncan, who you know is not going to bunt. In fact, I don't think Manny Acta even knows the bunt is legal. 7 sacks on the year, by far the fewest in the American League. He plays for the big inning day in and day out.
Well, Shelley Duncan, 10 for his last 70. A big, strong, when he's hitting well, home run guy, and that's what he's trying to look to drive the ball. And it's not always about hitting home runs. It's just, and you can see that Wei-Yin Chen is really struggling with his command and just not being able to make the quality pitches. But they've lost 5 in a row. In their last 6 road games, they've only scored 13 runs. So runs have been very tough for the Indians. And there's another pitch, a little changeup misses. And they're going to change balls, mainly probably because he doesn't feel it very well and also hit the dirt. A lot of hitters counts for both the Orioles and the Indians tonight.
Chen lost the start against the Nats we talked about, but prior to that he won 3 in a row. So he has 7 wins on the year. 2-1 pitch foul back, 2-2. You know, and you look at the teams he beat, Jim, in those 3 starts. He wins in Boston, which is a real tough place for a left-hander to pitch. Then he beat the Pirates, and even though the Orioles swept that series, let's not forget the Pirates came into Baltimore red hot.
They had 112 out of 15.
Yeah. And then he wins in Atlanta. So another tough place to pitch. So 3-0 with a 2.21 in the 3 starts prior to the loss last Saturday to the Nationals. The 2-2 pitch is hit foul down the left side. A hanging slow curveball, and Duncan just couldn't wait back long enough. And on top of it, he breaks his bat.
Yeah, when you rate his pitches, fastball number 1, changeup number 2, curveball number 3 as far as effectiveness. And he does have a little bit of a, I guess you'd call it a slur of something in between a slider and a curveball.
Another 2-2 pitch to Shelley Duncan, 2 on and none out, and he pops him up. Reynolds backing up now in foul ground, now straddling the line back in fair territory. The infield fly rule was called, and Reynolds made the grab and one away here in the second inning. Time for Inside the Numbers, brought to you by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. We'll weigh in, Chen, the breakdown by pitch this season. Changeup, average velocity just over 83. They hit 190. Curveball, they hit 357. There's the pitch Jim talked about. Fastball 239, just over 90 miles per hour. And the sliders, so the hitters like the curveball and the slider. Chen likes the changeup and the fastball.
Because those are plus pitches. Plus fastball because of the deception. And there's that cement mixture slider. I think that's what FP Santangelo called it, where it just kind of slowly, it's actually supposed to be biting downward. But the cement mixer is the hanger, the one that just spins, doesn't change planes.
Damon, high fly ball right center field. Flaherty on the run. That ball's way out there, and that ball is gone. So Johnny Damon, who loves to hit at Camden Yards, comes back to Baltimore, and a 3-run home run has given the Indians an early lead.
Well, what he loves to do as a veteran guy on his way, to 3,000 hits if he plays long enough, is look for pitches in certain zones. And just like the Adam LaRoche home run on Saturday night, check this one. Target down and away, ball belt high in the middle of the plate. Chen's a fly ball pitcher. And Johnny Damon gets it in the air. And it just sails out of here.
Jack Hanahan will take a strike on the check swing. So he went 3-0 on Lopez, who eventually singled on a 3-2 pitch. Then he walked Michael Brantley. Went 3-0 to Duncan before getting him, and then Damon hits it out. Check swing, and it's 0-2. The 10th home run allowed by Chen. It is the 7th he's allowed here at Camden Yards, even though his Camden Yards ERA is better than his road ERA. So Johnny Damon at 38 years old. That is career home run number 235. And there's another foul down the other way. So, career base hit 2,753.
Yeah, Damon missed all of spring training. Didn't sign until after the season started. Well, he's a smart hitter. Everywhere he's gone, teams have done well.
This ball's hit to left field. Towards the line comes Avery. Xavier gets there, and he's got it for the out. And 2 away in the Indians' second. Well, voting ends tonight at 11:59 p.m. for the 2012 All-Star Game. Adam Jones is in striking distance, earning a spot on the AL team. So get online, Orioles.com/All-Star, and vote orange and support Adam and the rest of the Birds. Plus, if you vote at least 20 times online and select the Orioles as your favorite club, you'll be entered to win an autographed jersey from an O's All-Star. You can vote up to 25 times online, so get online and vote orange for your Birds.
See, if you're an Indian hitter, and here we are with Lou Marson, the 9th hitter, they've eliminated the breaking ball till you get the 2 and strike because he hadn't thrown it. And that's what Johnny Damon did. He went up there, hasn't thrown the changeup or the curveball for a strike. He got behind him, looked fastball, got it into a good zone for him. Not a good zone for Wayan. First 3-run home run of the year for him. 7 solos, the 2 2-run home runs, and now the 3-run shot. And that's huge.
And that's the 26th pitch of the inning, which is tough. The fatigue factor starts to set in. He had a real easy 10-pitch first inning, 3 up, 3 down. And the 1-2 to Marson is hit towards short. Hardy waits on it, in between hop. And JJ guns it across, and the inning ends. But it's a big inning for the Cleveland Indians. Damon with a 3-run home run. We'll go to the bottom of the second, 3-0 Cleveland. Later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. On a hot summer night, it's Miller time. Wayne Chen on the bench behind Jim Presley. Now trails 3-0 on a 3-run home run by Johnny Damon. Chris Davis will lead off. Wieters and Betemeet will follow. Chris last night snapped his 0 for 29 drought with a single in the first inning. He came around to score. He was 1 for 4 in the game. And McAllister deals inside 1-0. For Chris Davis, his last home run in RBI came on a home run against the Pirates on June 13th, 35 at-bats ago. Here's a strike.
Well, that'll get your attention if you're an Oriole hitter. Misses with a fastball, comes back with a changeup. And again, he's got 4 pitches.
It's not foul out of way, and it's 1-2. Well, McAllister, drafted by the Yankees, and the Yankees a win now organization. They traded him to the Indians for Austin Kearns, who went to New York and became a backup, a role player. But yet the Yankees traded McAllister away, as Davis fouls it back.
Yeah, I believe there had to have been, was that the year maybe that Matsui had an injury, broke his wrist? They were looking for a backup guy, so obviously you're right. They wanted somebody that could help them right away, and Austin Kern, of course, had a little bit of a pedigree and experience, major league experience.
But McAllister was highly regarded. I mean, he was a 3rd-round pick.
Well, anytime you can get a young pitcher that is 6'4" with good size and has 4 pitches and throws somewhere between 92 and 94, you're going to take a chance. So it's a matter, can you make the ball move, and can you command it?
There goes the ball. There goes the bat. Look out. And knocked down in the stands, and fortunately everybody's okay.
Yeah, I was watching the other night Mr. Hamilton down in Texas, the bat throw.
He does that a lot.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. They showed one game maybe 2 or 3 times. But I mean, not just in the field of play, actually into the stands.
So the count at 2-2. Chris Davis let the fan keep the bat, but an usher didn't know. An usher took the bat. Now he's getting booed, so I'm sure they'll work it out. Here's the 3-2, pulled foul sharply. Look out, Wayne Kirby.
Yeah, thank God he can dance. He's got the rhythm. Well, Kirby, yeah, there you go.
Talk about good guys.
I used to play with. Oh, great guy. Could be an Indian.
And the 3-2 to Davis is fouled off out of play.
So you can see a lot of fastballs. And I always look, kind of went through this when I was pitching. How many fastballs, and Ray Miller used to talk about it, can you throw fastballs in fastball counts and not get hurt? And he's done that. I mean, these balls have been in the middle of the plate, but enough movement, enough velocity to get the foul balls. And then again, if you're pitching and you find your release point and then you try to look at the bat, and that's when you change speeds, go to different areas. Scott Radinsky.
High fly ball left center field. It's curling back to Johnny Damon. And he has it for the out and one away. So a good at bat in terms of pitches seen, but fly ball out. Well, the next fireworks night of the season is here tomorrow night. The O's will take on the Indians at 7:05. So come on out and don't miss that beautiful post-game fireworks display. Get your tickets in advance and save by calling the Orioles at 888-848-BIRD or visit Orioles.com. It is always a great show. They do a fantastic job, and you won't be disappointed. The fireworks designed not to go too high in the sky, so everybody in the stadium gets a good view. Special fireworks.
You know all this.
Research.
Well, the Orioles hope that fireworks start before tomorrow night.
Well, Matt Wieters breakdown by pitch. Breaking ball, he's coming on. Changeup, he's really coming on. And fastball, he's coming on. So the experience factor there. And an idea he's been working on, not trying to go after what they're trying to get him to do. He's 4 for 18 on the homestand.
And also extension through the strike zone so he can cover the outside corner, which is one of his strengths when he's hitting one.
Fly ball to center field. Right there is Michael Brantley. And backs up a few steps, and he's got it, and 2 men down.
Okay, so I see fastballs that they can't quite get to, and then a curveball right to the bat head, yet the break was good enough to get the fly ball.
Well, it's good to welcome back Big Ben. Ben McDonald here tonight. He's on the radio side, WBAL, working with Joe Angel. And Ben stopped by the booth to talk pitching with the Hall of Famer. There's Joe over there.
Oh, great
Look at
guy.
Ben getting into it with his hands, sort of like somebody else we know.
Every time I see Ed Farmer, who now a former pitcher and scout for the Orioles, who actually was a scout that scouted Ben McDonald, the Orioles' former #1 draft choice, he said the best college pitcher he ever saw. That's quite a compliment.
Well, especially because he was the guy that scouted Messina.
Yes.
Who pitched at Stanford, another college pitcher.
And oh, he loves to tell the story about he saw Mike Messina, and then he called the front office, said I wouldn't sign him, and then he had to go another time because somebody got ill. And man, Moose pitched about as good a game as ever, and he goes, oh, I think that you should sign him. And 270 wins later, not obviously all with the Orioles. He's headed, at least in my estimation, to the Hall of Fame. He was that good.
3-0 on Betameter's been hot, and it's outside ball 4 and a 4-pitch walk. Well, we hope Ben McDonald has this record for the rest of the Orioles' existence. The Orioles, in their franchise history, have had the #1 overall pick in the draft only once. Ben McDonald was the pick, and of course, to have the #1 overall pick, you have to have a miserable year the year before. So we hope they never have that pick again.
Well, I'm actually I can't go with you all the way, because if you're gonna draft 4th or 5th, why not have a couple more losses and draft #1? That's the way I look. Look at Washington. Well, I mean, really, if you're going to be bad, just be real bad. And it doesn't take that much more.
So Strasburg and Harper later.
Well, those are 2 pretty good illustrations of why I'm rooting. And I'm not certainly, I mean, the Orioles out 8 games over 500. Right. I'm not talking about this year. But you still got to pick the right guy.
Absolutely.
It's probably easier to do when you're picking #1.
And that pitch misses low, and 1-1 on Mark Reynolds.
Well, the O's, again, Wei and Chen has told them, you need to get me some runs. So, because I already gave up 3. Didn't want to do it, but I did. So you got a young pitcher on the mound. He only threw 1 home run in his last 29+ innings down at AAA, but this is the big leagues. We got a guy that waffled 37 of them last year. 1 swing, you're right back in this game.
Reynolds 1 home run in his last 11 games. He was going for it there, and it's 1-2. Well, Zach McAllister has been up and down on the year, and he just did come back for the start tonight.
Well, that's the old backup slider. You think it's going to spin, and it doesn't. And he swung right through it.
So 1-2 on Reynolds. Betemit at first. And he got him. So Reynolds strikes out, and that ends the inning. A 2-out walk and 1 left. We're through 2 at Camden Yards. McAllister and the Indians have a 3-0 lead. By 5-Hour Energy. 5-Hour Energy fixes tired fast. And by Antwerpen Auto. When Jack says yes, you pay less at Antwerpen, Hyundai, Nissan, Toyota at Howard County Auto Park. Visit jacksaysyes.com today. Yep, the sun continuing to descend on this June the 28th.
It's going to descend, and the temperature is going to get hotter.
Summertime weather. It's amazing. June's almost over. Sin-Soo Choo for his second at bat. Swings late. It's 0-1. Still fastball heavy at 86% through his 38 pitches. He threw 27 pitches in the second inning.
So again, he just had that hit him.
Wow.
Well, he's just not commanding anything but the fastball, and even the fastball, because he's not commanding anything else, it becomes more hittable. And this is just a curveball that spins out of his hand. There was a game earlier, which I did not broadcast, where he said, might have been the Washington game, where he gave up the 6 runs, where he said, I just didn't feel the ball. It was a hot, humid night. Not like this hot, but more humidity. Unfortunately, that's Oriole baseball in the summer.
Here's Asdrubal Cabrera, who grounded out his first at bat. And a toss to first. Choo has 9 steals. He's been caught only once.
Yeah, when he's healthy, I mean, he's almost one of their, probably their 5-tool guy. He can hit 300. He can hit for power. He can throw. Good outfielder. He can steal bases. And then you have a guy that can handle the bat at the plate. So they've really been struggling for run, and Wei and Chen just no idea so far where the ball is going tonight.
Against Chen on the year, there have been 9 stolen base attempts. 7 have made it. The Orioles have caught 2. And a bouncer foul.
Well, there's the changeup. Hey, you try to, and it's hard when you're giving up runs to integrate all your pitches, but you have to do it. And sometimes even when you miss with your fastball, which is his best pitch, you have to come back with changeups. Jason Hamill last night, one of his only poor outings of the year.
5 of the first 11 he has thrown strike 1. Ball and a strike on Cabrera. Hard hit ball. Betemit knocks it down, picks it up, fires to second in time to get an out. So Betemit stayed with it. Chu had to make sure that ball wasn't caught in the air, and Betemit alertly gets it to second for an out.
Yeah, if he catches it, it's 2. Again, it hits very, very sharply. But heads up, and you're right on the call. Chu, he does not want to get doubled up. They already have a 3-run lead. Not an easy play, but right to the glove. Just couldn't quite come up with it because of really, it looked like it was almost a top spin. I think you're looking at Wimbledon trying to keep it in the court.
So 1 down. Here's Jason Kipnis. Breaking ball in the dirt, knocked down by Wieters.
So again, when you start off a guy that has power, and you can see he's been red hot, and when you miss with the breaking ball, the hitters look heater. And that's what Damon did, the 3-run home run. I mean, they're not going to look for the changeup, not going to look for the curveball until you show them you can throw it over. It's going to be, I'm looking fastball, am I going to get it? And he does, and he still can't get to it.
Well, he's very specific, and when he gets them, they go.
So inside middle.
There's Drupal Cabrera now at first with 1 down. The 1-1 at Kipnis is fouled back, a ball and 2 strikes. Jim was talking about the run support that Wei-Yin Chen usually enjoys. For the season, he's at 5.17, which is actually second best on the team to Jason Hamill. Hamill's at 5.32. So the 2 pitchers in the rotation with the most wins also have been given the best support over the year. There's a nice little pattern.
Yeah, it's nice to get runs and also pitch well, and both of them have done that.
And
yep,
called strike 3. Joe West with a little dramatic pause.
Well, Country Joe West, a couple of DVDs out. I'm thinking about calling that a strike, and there it is. Just kind of go, yeah, there we go. Do you have one of his DVDs?
And our pitch track brought to you by Kia Motors. To learn more, Kia.com. No, I do not.
Well, because normally you don't have a choice. Here's one of my DVDs. I would see him in spring training. He's down in the West Palm, Jupiter area.
See, usually when we see Joe, I'm with you or Bordick or somebody.
And we're getting the DVDs. Yeah, I understand. Well, he's
like, oh, yeah, how you doing? Oh, Jim, good to see you.
Well, your son Jim's in the music. You don't need Joe West to give you a country West. Joe Country West. Country, well, whatever. And he kept asking me every year. I said, I already have it. Let me know when you have a new one. When the new one comes out. He's not bad.
So during the day, he's getting ready to go umpire a night game. I guess he has his book with him and writes down the lyrics.
Well, I don't know about that. I do know that I did sit across from him going back to Florida once, and I don't know if it was an off day or whatever, and he had his computer out. It was right after the game, and he was doing all the reports you have to do as an umpire. How quickly the teams get on and off the field because time restraints, trying to speed the game along.
Line foul off the bat of Lopez.
Pitching coaches have to come out at a certain time.
And he is the crew chief, so that all falls to him.
Yeah, so he was filing his reports, which are pretty thorough.
So we don't know if he has one of those notebooks like Bruce Springsteen has, where it's always with him just in case. You never know when those lyrics are going to come.
Well, when he's umpiring, you call him the boss. Other than that, I'm not sure.
Pitch is low, 2-2. Lopez singled his first time up. That got that rally going in the second, and you see Wei-Yin Chen already at 50 pitches.
Well, not one of those command nights. 7 pitches certainly doesn't mean you can't just start making good pitches.
And there's a ball hit to Hardy. Tough in between hop, but he gets it to Roberts, and that ends the inning. So no score, but 1 left on base. We're in the middle of the 3rd. Orioles down 3-0. Yards. We go to the bottom of the third. Orioles trail 3-0, and we'd all like to send out our condolences and our best wishes to our game director Tim Walbert, whose brother Terry passed away suddenly today, and we're all feeling for Tim and his loss and his family's loss, and we just want to let him know we're thinking about him. We're all a family here. We're together every day, and certainly when something happens to somebody in a negative way, we all feel it. So for Tim Walbert and his family and Terry's family, we're all thinking of you, and our condolences to the Walbert family. So the Orioles now will go to bat in the third, trying to get to Zach McAllister. And there's strike one taken by Ryan Flaherty. Ryan Roberts and Xavier Avery will follow. Ryan getting a start in right field tonight as Chris Davis is DHing. And he hooks it foul down the line. It's 0-2.
He had a pretty good night last night. Didn't have much to show for it. Lined out to right, and then the last out of the game. Deep left center field. Borges ran it down just short of the wall.
He hasn't been getting a lot of at-bats as of late, and he looks over strike three. So a 3-pitch strikeout for Flaherty and one away.
A little extra, 94. And then again, 6'4", 6'5"-ish. Doesn't hit the target, but not afraid to throw it over. A little extra.
So that'll bring up Brian Roberts, who is 0 for 1. He's now 0 for 12 over the last 3 games plus tonight.
Well, just think about if you're Zach McAllister, when you pitch on the same team with Derek Lowe, is going to pitch tomorrow. I mean, all that experience. Similar body styles. Of course, Derek, a great sinker ball pitcher. A wealth of information certainly can help him. Justin Masterson, who won 12 games for him last year. Nice to come to the big leagues and have guys to mentor you.
Oh, absolutely.
And they are looking for pitching. And that's one thing that Cleveland down there at the bottom of 462, even though they're closers, lights out. Somehow you got to get to him, Chris Perez.
Manny Actis Club comes in here 37 and 37, and the pitch to Bryan is hit towards the gap in right center field, but Chu is over. It hangs for him, and he has it for the out, and 2 away here in the third inning. So Brian Roberts 0 for 2 on the night, and in each of the first 3 innings, McAllister has retired the first 2 hitters, and that's a real good way to prevent a rally. He began the year in the minor leagues, was called up on May the 7th, simply to start on May the 7th. He started against the White Sox, won the game. After the game, they said, Zach, thanks very much. Get in the plane. You're back to AAA. He was only there for a week, came back on May the 12th as Avery pitches through it. Then made 3 starts with the Indians before he was sent back again on May the 25th. And now he's called back tonight to start after making 5 starts for Columbus.
And meanwhile, he's been pitching well down there.
Right.
And they don't give us a list of how many home games, but I talked to their coaches. Columbus is a bandbox, so it's a tough place to pitch. And so he, ERA of under 3 runs a game, 5-2, 12-3 last year down there. That's why one of the keys to the game is Goodbye Columbus. I know it's the movie, but you don't want to be seeing Columbus anymore.
Editorial license.
Yes.
1-2 on Xavier. Ground ball through the middle, and there's a base hit for Avery. So the Orioles have their second base hit, and it's a 2-out single. Xavier Avery 1 out of 2 in his return. Well, Zach McAllister, he did pitch in the big leagues last year, and 4 starts last year, 4 this year. But look, the ERA is much better. Innings pitched more. The walks to strikeout, that ratio is better. Opponent averages down, and pitches per inning less by 3. So you get a little bit of experience. You look to figure it out, which is a constant adjustment, and McAllister certainly is doing that. At 24 years old.
Also a young guy at 24, and when did most of his pitching last year? In September. So who knows how tired he was after pitching all those innings at AAA and then coming to the big leagues for the first time. There's nothing wrong with his stuff. We'll just see as this game progresses if he can command it.
Hardy doubled his first at bat, and he fouls it back.
Well, there's your home run slider. It just hung, and JJ had a real good swing. Yeah, I told him, I said, you're a good fastball hitter. If you hit off the fastball and hang a slider, you're going to hammer it. Biggest mistake he made to Xavier Avery is throwing him a strike because he chased out of the zone.
And we'd like to welcome all of those who watched over on Masson as the Nationals, in a tough loss, drop an 11-10 slugfest to the Rockies in 11 innings. And here's what's gone on in our game so far. Johnny Damon with a 3-run home run in the second inning. Wei-Yin Chen against Zach McAllister. And the Orioles batting here in the bottom of the third. And Hardy fouls it back. The Nationals in that game got home runs from Michael Morse, Ian Desmond, and Bryce Harper, but lose 11-10.
Weren't they down like 7-0? Yes. Edwin Jackson, who pitched so well against Wei-Yin Chen on Saturday night, he was getting roughed up early.
Avery runs, pitch taken outside, and he's going to have a stolen base. Perfect pitch to run on. It was a breaking ball, and Marson could not glove it cleanly. So number 5 on the year for Avery, who had 16 in AAA.
So the Orioles come in last in stolen bases. You finally have some speed on the team with Xavier Avery, and why not run him? You're not scoring a whole lot of runs. 2 outs. You don't mind Hardy leading off the next inning if he does get thrown out. And now just maybe, even though runner hits with scoring position runs has been tough, and there's a perfect breaking ball.
So Hardy down on strikes, a base hit, a man left. We played 3 on a hot night in Baltimore. 3-0 Indians. And dining, the ultimate triple play at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races. Well, most wins by rookie pitchers. Yu Darvish of Texas at 10. Tommy Malone with the Athletics has 8. And then Wei-Yin Chen running third at 7. Wei-Yin Chen performing very well. And neither of these pitchers in this game tonight very pitch efficient. Chen has thrown 51 pitches through 3 innings. And McAllister has thrown 53. But one of Chen's pitches left the ballpark with a couple of men on.
So you need an easy inning.
Here's Michael Brantley, the center fielder. Curveball for a strike in the outside corner.
Yeah, the curveball is such a feel pitch. Sometimes it takes a while to get the feel of being able to throw it for a strike.
And it's over but low. 1-1 the count. Well, the Indians, a 500 team. They went 11-9 in April, so 2 above. They went 16-14 in May, 2 more above. So they went into June 4 above 500. As Brantley rips it to the corner, and that ball is there against the wall. And a big carom for Flaherty. He'll fire to second, and safe at second base is Brantley with a head-first slide. That ball must have hit the cement, because normally it'll hit the wall and just fall down, and instead it ricocheted straight back towards the infield. So a leadoff double for Brantley.
Yeah, he had a 22-game hitting streak early on, so you look at him, and then again he hits higher against lefties, not power numbers. Yeah, right around that yellow demarcation of fair and foul, and then a perfect throw by Flaherty that makes it really close. Michael Brantley has a little bit of speed.
Here's Shelley Duncan, runner at second and nobody down.
Let's see if he takes a shot to right field, try to move him over. Yes, he does.
And it's caught by Reynolds and throw to second for a double play. Not very alert base running for Brantley. That ball was fisted, and the Orioles get a huge break and 2 men down.
Well, that's a gift. Nice pitch. You saw Shelley Duncan trying to stay inside, keep his hands inside, shoot it into right field, which he did. But again, you're in scoring position. You have to make the ball go through the infield, and Brantley does, and the Orioles get a double play.
Fastball's high to Johnny Damon, 1-0. Damon, his 4th home run, a 3-run shot in the 2nd inning. And that one's too tight, 2-0. So Brantley obviously thinking that ball was going to float on by Reynolds, and he was trying to get a big secondary lead and try to score, and instead he's doubled up. Foul ball in the check swing. And foul back out of play.
Yeah, we've seen, and you saw those numbers, over 322 home runs here at Camden Yards. Johnny Damon, he'll look in an area, which he did. Just almost feels like he hits it with one hand. It's the bat head through the zone. And there's the good pitch and the strikeout.
So Wei-Yin Chen has a very quick 3 up, 3 down inning, helped by the double play. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th, 3-0 Indians. Ball on Masson is brought to you by AT&T 4G LTE. It speeds up to 10 times faster than 3G. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Verizon Fios, introducing Verizon Fios Quantum Speed, internet twice as fast as anything America has ever seen. Nice summer night. Dad and his son out at the game, groups of friends, mom and her son. Perfect way to spend a Thursday night. So what? It's in the 90s.
Well, there's no humidity, though. I mean, that really does make a difference. Now, just, what was 97?
97 degrees.
Okay,
yes.
and what, 24%
Still in the
humidity?
20s, yeah.
So imagine yourself in Phoenix, Arizona, but 10 degrees hotter.
107.
Or so. Maybe it could even be a little more. And the same kind of humidity.
Still be hot.
Yes, it would. The broiler's on.
1-1 on Jones, but for here, I think it's going to start to creep up there.
Humidity.
Yeah.
So it may not be luscious.
It might not be. Adam Jones slices it to right field, and that ball is hooking back foul. Ooh, look out.
Well, let's see if the Orioles, and you were saying between innings they need runs, and I think Buck Showalter would agree that. Had him with a chance to drive one in, but skied it to right field. Fastball in the middle of the plate. So you see the release point getting a little bit darker. And there, well,
that's
up
a
and
hot
away.
zone.
Yeah, up and away. That's it.
Protecting the inside corner there.
Well, that's your 2-strike. Well, how about that number we got today about that we will show you later on at some point about hitting with 2 strikes. I always wonder how hitters mature. Do they cover the zone? There you go. 50-50. I think you're in Atlantic City. I think there must be some gambling thing. 50-50. Good take there. So play coverage. Experience using the whole field. We've seen Adam do that over the last 3-4 years.
Foul off a tough pitch. Keep the at-bat alive. 2-2 on him. Outside, ball 3. If you're the Orioles, you want to get into the part of that Indians bullpen that the Indians don't want you to get into. Because as Jim mentioned, it's a strange bullpen. They have the highest ERA of any bullpen in the league, but they have one of the best closers. 3-2 on Jones. Popped him up. Left side of the infield. Here comes Hanahan, the third baseman. And in fair territory, he grabs it for the out. So Jones retired and 1 away. This day in baseball history brought to you by Ocean City, Maryland. Make memories of your own this summer. Book your vacation at OCOcean.com. Back in 1910, Joe Tinker of the Cubs, the first major league player to steal home twice in a game. And then in 2001, Tony Gwynn of the Padres announced he would retire at the end of that season, which also coincided with the final season of Cal Ripken.
Who I actually ran into last night.
Really?
Yeah, Cal looked great. A chance to talk about his son Ryan, who was drafted by the Orioles. Getting big, had mono. Now he's getting hefty, playing in the college league. So
something going on here. Joe West took his mask off and started pointing to the Orioles dugout. I'm not sure what that was about. And Buck Showalter had his piece. Joe West had his, and here's Chris Davis. So you saw the Hall of Famer, so it was a Hall of Famer reunion.
Of sorts. Everybody, the whole family's good. So again, I asked him about his son, who's 6'6" now. Good basketball player, really good fielder, and getting stronger. Actually, I was saying he hit the ball and off a tough lefty, so Cal's paying attention. And he's got great genes. And we'll see if he goes to South Carolina,
which it looks like he will. 2-2 the count on Chris Davis, who flied out his first at bat.
And I believe Cal said he was going to be here for the unveiling of Earl. He moved him to shortstop.
Towards the gap in left center field. Damon on the run, still going, and it hooks back to him. That's the second time Davis has done that. Same exact kind of fly ball where the backspin brought it back to Johnny Damon.
Well, of course, he's playing deep enough where if he took another couple of steps back, he'd be sitting in the first row. And that's all right.
At his age, easier to move in than move out.
All I know, it really doesn't matter how he plays left at this point because he hit a 3-run home run.
That's right.
Speaking of Earl Weaver, Earl would be his biggest fan. 3-run home run, oh, my kind of guy. Boy, does that make a difference, too. 3 runs in 1 swing.
Earl's number 4 retired. There it is in the Oriole dugout. That's going to be a real nice day. And then the staff has to quickly turn around because 2 weeks later, number 22 statue will be unveiled out there. That's a quick turnaround. 2 weeks between ceremonies.
And then Eddie Murray in August. Cal in September, along with Brooksy in late September.
Cal's is on the night, I believe, of 21-31, which is why it's September the 6th.
Well, there you go.
2-1 on Wieters. Line drive, base hit to left field. How about that? Exactly what he was working on in batting practice, and he gets the pitch and he doesn't miss it.
Well, hitting so much better right-handed, and Matt, his strength has always been down and away, and it's not a bad pitch outside third of the plate, and it's you reduce it into a hitter's pitch if you cover the outside corner, and that was what Jim Presley was saying. You rolled over last night. Let's extend through the ball. Let's actually cover the outside corner and not stop the bat, so to speak. And that was, boy, textbook.
They worked on it in the cage, then worked on it more on the field. Exactly that swing, and Wieters gets a base hit. Here's Betemeet, and he takes ball one. He has yet to see a strike. Walked on 4 pitches his first at bat.
Well, you have a young pitcher that's trying to get him out with anything but other than the fastball, because that's what he hits so well. So you know what the game plan is. Can you get your breaking ball over? And is he going to swing at it? There's another hook, and this time he throws it for a strike. But we've seen a lot of hitters, and you know they're anxious because they're not scoring runs, that are chasing early in the count. And when you do that, boy, you're the pitcher's best friend. Pitchers, I don't care who you are, the vast majority want to throw enough strike to get you a swing at balls, and you help them do that, their job becomes easier.
Swing and a miss on a pitch down and in, 1-2.
And he's got a good curveball. I mean, this ball doesn't stop. Now, is it a ball? Yes. But again, we saw Avery do that on the first pitch. So if you take that pitch because you're looking fastball, and you can do that till you get to 2 strikes, a little bit different here. And it's just a ball. Take it. Make him throw it over.
Wieters runs, pitch taken high, throw to second. He is safe at second base. Wheels Wieters steals it. His first of the year. And he's in scoring position with 2 down.
That's somewhat of a surprise. And he really doesn't get a running lead. He doesn't really. I think he just outruns him. You know, again, McAllister, a big kid, throw high, and he beats it easily.
And Betemeet pulls it foul behind Wayne Kirby.
So all you need, and I know you have those runners in scoring position numbers, they certainly haven't been glowing. All you need is a hit here to get on the board. And it's not only the run, it changes the mindset of the young pitcher out on the mound. Because it puts you back into the game. I've been out there. If you don't get the big hit, or you don't get hits to get on the board, you just keep doing what you're doing.
Inside, close pitch, good check swing there. Well, tonight so far the Orioles are 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. The Hardy double with 2 down, and then Avery.
Yeah, Lou Marson puts the glove exactly where McAllister throws it, and they still don't get the call.
So 3-2 on Betemeet. And a tapper slowly hit past him out. Tough play. Hanahan. He will not make a throw. There's an infield hit for Betemeet. So the Orioles have something going here, and Betemeet extends his hitting streak to 8 consecutive games. Boy, when you're going good, you're going good.
Well, pretty good pitch, but you can see the shift's on. So Cabrera can't get to it. That's Ribble playing way behind second base on the shortstop side. And then Hanahan has to come all the way across. And again, nobody had a better fielding percentage. That's a smart play. You have a 3-0 lead. Why try throwing it away?
Well, the Orioles were 2 for 47 with runners in scoring position over the last 9 games. So far tonight, they're 1 for 3. Have yet to score a run. Betemeet with that base hit. Here's Reynolds. And outside corner called strike 0-1. Reynolds struck out his first at bat. 0 for 10 his last 2 games and 0 for 1 tonight. He's just 2 for 17 on the homestand.
And another one. Those are perfect low and away fastballs.
Mark Reynolds rarely goes to right field. They know that. So they'll throw it there to see what he'll do.
Well, you can't throw him any better. If you had a young pitcher and he could live there in that proximity, the game will be a lot less difficult. And there's another one that just missed. Wow. pretty good fastball command. Free, almost right on the corner.
See the shift on Reynolds. Runners on the corners. Maniacta has kicked this well up the middle. A ball and 2 strikes with 2 down. Orioles trying to get on the board. Swing again, down and away. They appeal the first and no swing. Sam Holbrook said he checked.
Well, the one thing about Mark Reynolds, we know he strikes out a lot. 63 on the year. This is what they're going to look at right here, and he doesn't go. But he also has the highest on-base percentage of any Oriole, and he walks the most because they pitch to him very carefully.
He's got a real good batting eye, but he'll swing and miss. 2-2 the count. And he fouls it off. You wouldn't think with as good of a batting eye as he has, he would have as many strikeouts.
Well, that's a good point, and I often wonder about that, and I think it's the ferocity of his swing. He overswings until he gets to 2 strikes.
Right.
And we saw it last weekend against Edwin Jackson. Kept getting him into these counts, runner at third, less than 2 outs, and then threw great sliders.
And he got him again. So Reynolds has struck out twice on the night. Orioles miss another chance. 2 hits and 2 left. We played 4 at Camden Yards. Indians holding on to a 3-0 lead. Two of the 4-game series with Jake Arrieta on the mound for the Birds. He'll take on the Indians' Derek Lowe. Our coverage on MASN 2 HD begins at 6:30 with those extra presented by Jeep, and then game coverage at 7 o'clock. We've got all the access you need right here on MASN.
So there you go, Jake Arrieta. I think if you're the Indians, and I talked to some of them today, they know the stuff is there, and he actually fits very well against the Nationals. Very close. Happy to be back into the American League. You don't see too many pitchers actually saying that, but he said, well, here they swing over here, so you either do really well or you do really bad, and you find out real early. And we'll see Jake Arrieta again, whether it's Chen or Arrieta. Boy, you just have to pitch well and hope that the offense starts getting a little bit better than in the last 10, 12 games.
Here is Jack Hanahan, and a big curveball is high 1-0. Well, between innings, Joe West went over near the Oriole dugout and had a calmer discussion with Buck Showalter. We don't know what the prior half inning had West upset. He pulled off his mask and was pointing at the Oriole bench, and we know Buck doesn't like the pointing. So you got to give Joe West credit. He's the crew chief, veteran. He let everything calm down. Then he just quietly walked over and discussed whatever it was that Buck was displeased with. There's a pop foul out of play.
And Joe's having a good game.
Yep.
And very consistent.
Buck doesn't miss much.
Well, nothing. What do you mean, much? Nothing.
1-2 the count on Hanahan. Foul back again. Hanahan flied out to left his first at bat.
No, he can pick it. Boy, you want to have better pitching, you better have a good defensive, well, not only a player, but defensive players, and he can play third base.
Well, it's over but low, 2-2. He's in his second season in the Indians organization. He's been in pro ball since 2001 when he was drafted by the Tigers.
Well, he's been around. We saw him in Oakland.
2-2 on him. Chen deals at a pop-up a mile high on the right side of the infield. And there is Reynolds, who will put it away for the out. And one away in the Cleveland fifth. Mid-Atlantic Sports Report returns tomorrow from 5 until 7. Join Tom Davis, Phil Wood, Dave Johnson, Mel Anton, and they'll have your latest Orioles news and headlines. Plus, they'll look ahead at Saturday's special statue unveiling for Hall of Fame manager Earl Weaver. That's tomorrow at 5, the Mid-Atlantic Sports Report on MASN. Chris Davis DHing tonight, so he's on the bench and the team's in the field. Here's Lou Marson, the number 9 batter. Wei-Yin Chen had a 10-pitch first inning. He had a 9-pitch fourth inning. But he threw 27 pitches in the second inning, and that has his pitch count elevated.
Well, he somehow, at least it seems, found his command, and he didn't have it in the second. And I'm not just talking about the home run. Just to get to that home run, he threw 6 pitches to Jose Lopez. And because he was all over the place, the 6th one was down the middle. He singled into left. He walked Brantley, not even close. Made a good pitch to Shelley Duncan, and then missed with a fastball to Damon. And then Johnny, to his credit, looked for a fastball and got one in the middle of the plate. And that's the ball game so far. And since then, seems like he has his command again.
Now, you think Marson there was trying to get away with something, telling Joe West, hey, that hit me, that hit me?
Probably.
Based on the smile back at West, I don't think he got the answer he wanted to hear. 3-1 to count on him with 1 out, nobody on. And he popped him up on a 3-1 pitch to Hardy. And 2 down here in the Indians' 5th inning. Time now for our AT&T Mobility Trivia Fact. The O's allowed just 2.5 runs per game in wins, but 6.67 runs per game in losses. The 4.16 differential, the 4th largest in Major League Baseball. And yet their last 3 wins, they've only scored a couple of runs.
Yes, you're exactly right. Who pitched him?
Well, Chen was one of them. And Hamill was one of them. And Hamill was the other one.
There you go. You don't have that differential if you have good starting pitching. That's my point. And you understood that, of course. And that's why I study in the library before I come in, because I know you're going to quiz me. Well, no, it's not a quiz. You see those numbers, and then you start looking at them and going, okay, well, what's the logical answer, or what's the real answer? And that's about your starting pitcher.
Fly ball to left. It has Carey on it. Back at the wall, and it's gone. Another home run by the Indians. This one the opposite way off the bat of Chu, and it's a 4-0 Cleveland lead.
Well, he can flat out hit when he's healthy. Last year, a thumb problem. Here before, 300 hitter, steals bases. I mean, he's their most. He and Asdrubal Cabrera are their most complete players. And Cabrera's coming off a terrific year. And right there, it's just a fastball. This is Camden Yards. This is one of the great places to hit. You can fly out and then circle the bases. And that's exactly what he did. You know, to his credit, he just made a nice swing on it. Hit it, what, about 345 feet?
Carried out just enough.
Cody Webster did that in Williamsport when he was 12. The kid from Olympia, Washington. Just kidding.
High fly ball off the end of the bat. There's Avery. And he's got it for the out in the inning ends. So another run on the home run, mid-5th at Camden Yards. Orioles come to bat, trailing 4-0. 2 of the Indians' hits have left the yard, and that has driven in all 4 runs. So the Birds come up trailing 4-0, trying to get a win. And hi, everybody, Jim Hunter and Jim Palmer, and the Orioles continue to go through the offensive drought. They're getting some good at-bats. They're getting opportunities, but they don't have the big hit to extend an inning and put more pressure on the opposing pitcher.
And they're out homering us. And the Orioles win when they hit home runs. I mean, that's really the key. You know, again, runners in scoring position, numbers not good. On base percentage, not good. Lack of speed, not good. So you got to hit home runs. And when you don't hit home runs, it's obviously hard to win. And the other factor, and it's probably the key day in and day out over 162 games, is your starting pitcher better than theirs. And tonight, Zach McAllister has outpitched Wei-Yin Chen. So, you know, Damon gets a big home run, a solo home run. That doesn't beat you, but 3-run home runs, they will drive you crazy.
Ryan Flaherty will lead off for the Orioles. First ball swinging, and he swings through it, 0-1. Flaherty, Roberts, and Avery, 9-1-2. Ground ball and a base hit down the left field line. He just served it the other way. Damon was playing over near the line, so Flaherty is on with a leadoff single, and that is the first time tonight the Orioles have had the leadoff man get on base.
Oh, nice hitting because, again, I mean, here we are. We're in the 5th inning, and you can you get a pretty good idea of what kind of fastball McCann control that McAllister has. So he likes to pitch lefties away. So until you get to 2 strikes, look there. We saw Wieters do it. We're able to do that. So right here, can you advance the runner? Can you look for a ball and hit it in the hole? And Brian Roberts.
Well, the one thing about Brian Roberts is he's still getting accustomed to the speed, Jim, of the Major League game. And you see his walk rate 2009 to 2012 really has dipped. And in large part because of the large absences in between playing. But you can see he's slowly getting back. When he first rejoined the team off the DL after not playing for 13 months, a lot of adrenaline rush, and then he settled into everyday life, and now he's trying to catch up to the speed of the game. And
he has seen better pitching since then. Pittsburgh came in, they played very well, but he got a lot of pitches to hit. That has changed again. But we're just going to have to see. I'm just happy he's back. You know, everybody says, well, can Brian Roberts be the player he was? And that player is a guy that steals 30 to 50 bases, 45 to 55 to 56 doubles, occasional home run power. He's played very well defensively.
Fly ball to center field. Brantley's there, and he's got it for an out and 1 down.
But I've been around here long enough to see when he first came up, that's what he did. He hit lazy fly ball. So, yeah, I think it's a very fair assessment. Jim Presley, his hitting instructor, talking about him. You know, trying to get back because the game does speed up, especially when you have a concussion, especially when you've been away from it. And the other factor is he's 34 years old. So is he going to just figure it out in a month? I think that would be very unfair. The great challenge, though, when you're a player, pitcher, whatever, as you get a little bit older, is to prove not only to everybody else, but to yourself you can still do it. And that's the constant battle of playing at this level, whether you're 34 or not.
So Xavier Avery up now with Flaherty at first and 1 down.
And Hanahan taking the bunt away because he's creeping in. He's about 2-3 steps on the grass at third.
And quickly 0-2.
I'll tell you, if you're going to try to pull a ball into right field, that's the pitch you have to hit. But again, Xavier Avery, not a lot of at-bats, rushed through the minor leagues. Great opportunity, though.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's great. And the other, I don't know if he's going to be able to do it or not, but there's the big breaking ball. And that's, you were talking about the adjustments that the league made once he got here. Well, that's all about. So, hey, this is what they do up here. Throw you a curveball, unable to wait. And then again, if you have trouble hitting with 2 strikes, everybody does, then all of a sudden you start chasing early on. So you just need the at-bats. You need the experience. And everybody talks 1,500, 2,000 at-bats. You're certainly not going to get that here in 2012.
Well, J.J. Hardy now. And a pop foul out of play. Let's get a look at the SunTrust Inside the Numbers, exploring your financial options. SunTrust can help you find new ways to move forward. Well, middle infielders with 40 home runs and 100 RBIs since the beginning of last season, and J.J. Hardy is at the top. 41 and 109. Ian Kinsler also 41. Cano 46.
Nick, go away. Pretty impressive, isn't it?
That Cano can hit him, especially at Yankee Stadium.
Well, asked Ubaldo Jimenez yesterday. Had a 3-2 lead and 2-strike backdoor slider hit it in the left field stands, and the Indians lose. He's only hit 7 home runs in his last 10 games, Robinson Cano.
That's it?
Yes.
1-1 on Hardy. High fly ball left. There it goes. Way back, and that ball is gone. And the Orioles are back in it. 72 at-bats without a home run. Goodbye to that streak. And it's a 4-2 game.
Yeah, JJ, if you could dial up a pitch you want to drive when the opposing pitcher is throwing 92 to 94 with good movement, it would be a hanging slider. And that's what he got.
And coming with 2 outs, all the better.
Well, you need a cheerleader for offense, and he just did that.
And he's got a 2-for-3 night.
Get the pom-poms out. Put some runs on the board. Get into the bullpen.
Strike 1 to Adam Jones on the breaking ball.
Now check this pitch out. Supposed to be away. It's right down the middle. Watch this extension. Thank you.
Jones going the other way. A vicious line drive foul back in the crowd.
Boy, when you have a good fastball, and that's when Alistair has, you just, it's part of the game. You think the slider's the right pitch. It might have been if you executed it, but you don't, and you go, why did I ever throw it?
And he gets one by Adam Jones for a strikeout. Adam 0 for 3, and the inning is over. But J.J. Hardy, with one swing of the bat, gets the Orioles back in it. His 12th home run on the year has made it a 4-2 game. Earl Weaver will be honored as part of the Orioles Legend Celebration Series. His bronze sculpture will be unveiled in the new center field picnic area. The ballpark gates will open for fans at 2 o'clock, and the ceremonies begin just after that at 2:15. And all fans will receive a replica Earl Weaver sculpture. So help us honor the Earl of Baltimore. For your tickets, 888-848-BIRD or visit Orioles.com/legends. And Frank will have some company out there.
Yeah, Rick Manning, former Indian who broadcast. I was trying to point to where that actually where it is, the statue of Frank.
Xavier Avery races to left center field, and Adam Jones says, "Okay, youngster, go ahead, you can have it on the way." Say, what would you do if you had the chance to run the Orioles? Well, head on over to Facebook.com/MasonOrioles and enter to win a dinner with Buck Showalter. It's your chance to go one-on-one with the O's manager. Plus, we'll let you bring a guest, and Mason will take care of the tab. So enter now on Facebook through July the 1st. And you got to love those one-pitch outs.
So does that mean like you go to dinner with Buck, and then you say, okay, Zach Greinke's going to be a free agent. Let's sign him.
Exactly. You bring your wish list. You say, okay, Skipper, how about this guy? How about this guy? What about that guy?
And then without even any preparation, Buck would give you a good reason either to do it or not to.
Left center field. Let's see who gets this one. And Adams says, "This is my ballpark, youngster. I'm taking that 1 and 2 away."
Yeah. Well, I think he has, he got the big contract. Probably has a put-out clause. So
Adam,
that increases his own rating when you run over in front of the left fielder and catch it.
Absolutely. Well, when Xavier was here the first time, Adam told him, "I'm not used to somebody next to me that can run that fast."
So does that mean, do I put F7 down even though the center fielder caught it, or do I?
You put F8 because F8 was reminding F7 that this is his team. Here's Michael Brantley, and it's outside.
So the last 3 home runs that Wei-Yin Chen has thrown are to left-handed hitters. Not a good habit to get into.
Yeah, for the year, he's now allowed 5 to lefties and 6 to righties. And a big bouncer towards the hole, and it bounces past Roberts for a base hit. So a 2-out single, and Wei-Yin Chen on the night. The 3-up, 3-down inning has eluded him since the first inning. He retired the side in order in the first, but the Indians have had a base runner every inning since. So Brantley's on for a 3rd time in this game, a walk, a double, and a single. Here's Shelley Duncan. 0 for 2. Down and in, 1-0. Duncan has popped up to first, and a little line drive out to first. It was turned into a double play.
Yeah, we certainly want to send our best to Shelley's dad is Dave Duncan, who caught here in Baltimore. His wife Janine has been going through cancer treatment, whatever. Actually, Dave took after being the pitching coach with Tony La Russa and the world champion Cardinals, a leave of absence. So talking to Shelley, and we certainly send out our best. He said she's doing well. Great to hear.
Outside, ball 3.
Yeah, his dad, Dave Duncan, was one of the Catfish Hunter, Blue Moon Odom bonus kids. He's got about $125,000. Charlie Finley, and some of the best young talent in baseball. Tony La Russa, actually, bonus kid.
Yep.
Coming up with Oakland.
Runner at first, 2 down, and 3-0 on Duncan.
Yep. You figure that. Trying to put runs on the board. And again, 4 runs after 13 runs in the last 6 road games for the Indians. They're trying to add a couple more, and I'm sure Manny Acta is saying, well, he's probably going to get as good a pitch 3-0 as any. But he did chase out of the zone.
Yeah, it's a little low, ball 4. So Chen with his 2nd walk, and that puts 2 on after 2 men were down. Rick Adair is going to come out for a chat. So Rick Adair.
Yeah, this is about where is Johnny Damon's hot zone? Well, we already know where one of them is. It's kind of up and in because he hit the 3-run home run.
So with a 4-2 game, he needs one out to get out of it. Don't forget our O's Extra post-game show tune-in, all brought to you by PNC Bank for the Achiever in you. Tom Davis, Rick Dempsey, they'll have the breakdown of this game. You'll hear Buck Showalter's entire post-game press conference, player interviews from the Orioles clubhouse, and more. That's O's Extra post-game coming up following the game, all brought to you by PNC.
I was trying to come up with the reasoning of number 33 for Johnny Damon. Normally number 18, and nobody, at least on the present roster, has that unless it's a coaching number.
And he takes low 1-0. No, it's not a coach's number.
When he started with the Royals was 51 his first year. Actually 22 one year.
And he pops it up right field. Flaherty waiting for it. And he has it for the out. So whatever Adair said worked. And Shen flies out. A hit, a walk, 2 left. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Jim Palmer's in the house.
Long balls, 3-run shot by Johnny Damon. 3-0 Indians early, and then Chu will go the other way. Lofts a high fly ball to make it 4-0. Ryan Flaherty with a leadoff hit, and then the home run by J.J. Hardy. As the Orioles put 2 on the board and trail by 2 as they come to hit in the bottom of the 6th inning. So McAllister, again his 5th major league start, actually pitching very well other than the hanging slider to Hardy.
So the Orioles back in it, down by 2. Here's Chris Davis. And he looks over a breaking ball for a strike that hits the outside corner.
So Jimbo. Casey Kochman comes in for defense, one of the better defensive first basemen.
Towards the hole, to his left is Kipnis.
Nice little play there. Ball came up on him. Anyway, the reason Johnny Damon is not 18 is because Mel Harder, they retired his number.
So it's retired.
And I don't really know who texted this to me, but I would imagine it would be Phil Wood. So thank you, Phil. And if it's not you, well,
you get credit anyway.
Yeah, you're getting credit anyway. 77% of fastballs.
Fly ball right center field off the bat of Wieters, but the ballpark's going to hold it. And Brantley has it, and 2 quick outs here in the 6th inning. Here's our PNC minor league report brought to you by PNC for the Achiever in you. And how about L.J. Hose, who is really coming on at AAA. 9-game hitting streak, batting .515 during the streak with 17 hits, a double, a triple, and 8 RBIs. So his season average in AAA up to .295, home run, 8 RBIs in the 25 games since being promoted from AA Boone. And he is really opening eyes. And there's Joe Smith in the Indians bullpen. As the Orioles have some prospects that after slow starts, adjusting to better competition, are starting to come out. Wilson Betemeet 1-1. He reached on an infield hit his last at bat, extending his hitting streak to 8 consecutive games. And it's taken high.
Yeah, Joe Smith, their guy last year, to get to Chris Perez.
And that ball's ripped to the corner, and there's another base hit for Betemeet. Man, is he hot. Playing the carom is Sin-Soo Choo. Betemeet heading towards second base, and a head-first dive, and he's in with a double.
Yeah, you better hurry.
Boy, don't wake him up.
No. Well, we talked about it last night, changed the stance. And again for Wilson, they love to get him out with breaking balls. Does he get a fastball to hit? Look at this one, center cut, and he's not missing it. Just more upright. Seeing the ball better, reacting to the ball better, and you get that high little carom that makes it a little bit easier as he crash lands into second.
So Betemeet's 4th consecutive multi-hit game will chase Zach McAllister from this game. Here's Manny Acta up, and we're going to get a pitching change in the 6th inning with the tying run coming to the plate in the person of Mark Reynolds. So McAllister will leave. It's his game to win. Orioles down by 2 in the 6th. Five 2/3, 2 runs on 7 hits, and the runner at second base, his responsibility, so he can win this game. He cannot lose it. 6 strikeouts and a walk, and McAllister at 105 pitches on this hot night, and he is done here in the 6th inning.
Well, look at the numbers for Joe Smith. Last year, 3-3 ERA, a lot lower at 2 runs a game, 201, so doesn't walk a whole lot of guys. And, again, one of those tricky arm angles. Great changeup. Came over from the Mets back in the winter of 2008 to 9, and so again last year, you're kind of your conduit to get to your closer. I'm not sure. Well, we'll see how far he goes tonight, but awfully early. But again, when you've lost 5 in a row and you're Manny Acta, you want one of your best bullpenners to come in and try to save the night.
So the Orioles are looking for another 2-out base hit with Betemeet at second base. And it's well outside, 1-0. Reynolds has struck out twice. He has stranded 3 runners in his at-bats tonight. Betemeet trying to get a good lead off second. You see Kipnis trying to hold him close. And a foul ball, 1-1. Well, the Orioles have relied on the home run all year. There's no doubt about it. And here's the breakdown. Birds went 14-9 in April, had 30 home runs, 4th in the majors. Then 15-13 in May, 45 home runs, tied for the most. But look at June. 21 home runs, 22nd in the major leagues, and just 3.5 runs per game they're averaging.
So that's when you need speed. They don't have a lot of team speed. You don't hit well with runners in scoring position. That's kind of an aberration because they've been so bad this month. Right, probably average before that. And then the other factor is your on base percentage. Betamete, of course, they got him for exactly that reason. Switch hitter, always used to get on base a lot, and he's been doing it as of late.
Reynolds, a tapper back towards the mound. Smith will swing it to first, and the inning is over. So the Orioles leave another in scoring position. A 2-out double, a man left. We go to the 7th, 4-2 Indians. On defense, and if you're Wei and Chen, well, the best way to defend is to not let them put him in play. There's a strikeout of Sin-Soo Choo for Chen on the night. He has 3 strikeouts, and there's another called strike 3. That one to Kipnis, and Johnny Damon going down on strikes. So they don't put it in play. Bad things can't happen. That's a great way to play defense.
Well, again, it certainly is. And very few errors made on strikeouts unless it gets by the catcher. Again, a couple of fly balls, one with 2 men on, and doesn't walk a whole lot of guys. And again, tremendous, usually throws somewhere in the high 60s of fastballs, and took him a while to establish any kind of breaking ball, whether it's the curveball or the changeup.
So here's Hanahan leading off in the 7th, and a fly ball to center field. Jones is back at it. Look at that ball carry, but Adam gets to it.
Jack Hanahan doesn't want to be flying out to center. He wants to pull the ball if possible.
Well, fans, Orioles pitcher Jason Hamill will be at the official Orioles team store. That's in the York Galleria Mall tomorrow, 11 until noon. So don't miss your chance to come on out, meet Jason, get an autograph, and talk about the 2012 O's. Tomorrow, 11 until noon at the official Orioles team store in York, Pennsylvania. For all details on all the community appearances by Orioles, visit OriolesReach.com.
Yeah, all the fans, they will find a delightful young man. I mean, he's having a terrific year. What an impact he's made on this starting staff. But just a great guy to talk, and an interesting guy.
One 1-0 on Marson, the number 9 batter. This ball's hit to the right center gap. That's going to be a base hit. And it's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Jones and Flaherty. Flaherty gets to it first and fires back in. So there's a 1-out double.
Yeah, Lou Marson, he's one of the guys that came over from Philadelphia in the Cliff Lee. They lost back-to-back Cy Young Award winners back-to-back years. And boy, I did this a lot of times. Trying to make a good pitch, leave it out over the plate. They don't go out of the ballpark, but they drive it up the gap. And that's what Lou Marson has, gap power.
So Rick Adair will come out for another chat. And this again, the 1-2-3 inning has really eluded Wei-Yin tonight. He did retire the side in order in the first, but the Indians have had a base runner ever since in each inning.
Well, not if you want to go back and collectively look at his starts, one of his sharpest. But the one thing that's impressed me, again, he pitched in Japan, comes from Taiwan, 26 years old, is his composure.
Luis Ayala now getting loose.
So even on his nights when he's not having his, as they call it, A stuff, still able to keep you in the game. And tonight, just a couple of pitches.
Sin-Soo Choo, the leadoff hitter. Down and in, 1-0. The Orioles starters ERA as a group is now 4.60. That is now 10th in the American League.
I think the average is around 4.38, somewhere in that. That's the average ERA in the American League. You probably have it for starters.
Yep, 4.33. You are correct. The Angels, we just saw them. They have the lowest ERA by starters.
As they did last year.
1-1 on Choo. Runner at second and 1 down.
And the concern is that not only the half a run higher than what the league average is if you go to innings.
Right.
Those are the most important things because you have a tremendous bullpen. It's a deep bullpen, but the more they pitch, the harder it is to pitch through 162 games.
2-1 is low, ball 3. And that's one of the reasons why, at least for the moment, the Orioles are going with a 9-man bullpen and a 3-man bench, because their rotation at the moment is just a 4-man rotation. Eveland will make the start on Saturday. He'll come out of the pen to make that start. 3-1 on Choo. And just inside, ball 4. So he may have been pitching around them a little bit. And that's going to be the last batter for Wei-Yin Chen. So his third walk. Here's Buck Showalter. You have a switch hitter coming up, and Buck wants a fresh arm. So Chen will leave. He cannot win this game. And the bullpen will try to hold it as is. So 2 on 1 down in the 7th, 4-2 Indians. Here comes Ayala in the pitch for the Birds. Out 6 hits, 4 runs, and the 2-men on base are his responsibility, so that could increase. He walked 3, he struck out 3, but the key, 2 home runs, responsible for all 4 Indians runs.
And again, the strike the ball ratio, not what you like. But again, he just battles it. I mean, we've seen that. And now it's up to the bullpen. Luis Ayala again having a terrific year. So the key number, you can look at all the low ERA, and he certainly has that. But inherited runners, they're a little bit high. He's come in with 18 of them. 50% have scored.
Yeah.
And that is higher than you would like.
What he would love to do here is get a ground ball off Cabrera's bat and get a double play to end it. Cabrera, switch hitter on the year, has batted .277 from this side, .313 from the other side.
And this is his power side, though. More at bats and doubled up on the home run, 6-3.
Outside, 1-0.
Yeah, the guy that I'm concerned about, you have Kipnis next, and then Lopez went out of the game. And Casey Kochman is 6 for 6 off Luis Ayala. We hope you don't get to him this inning.
And that's high, ball 2. The Indians are showing, Jim, they're a very patient hitting team. They have worked a lot of deep counts in this game.
Well, their on base percentage, not that the Orioles have a glorious one, but it's about 17 points higher.
High fly ball to right down the line. Will it stay fair? That ball is out of here. A huge blow for the Indians, a 3-run home run, and it's 7-2 Tribe. He fell behind, he came in, and the ball left the park.
Well, the second 3-run home run of the night, and the wrong guys hit it. 2-0, you can cheat a little bit. Looks like a cut fastball that he tries to get in on his fist, and he just hangs it. So Cabrera, who had, 25 home runs last year, career high. And he didn't hesitate. He just jumped all over it. The hanging slider speeds up the bat. And the only thing that mattered would it stay fair, and it did. So, Asdrubal coming off a career year, not batting average, but 25 home runs.
Well, that's his 10th. And now it's Jason Kipnis, who is 0 for 3, and only player in Major League Baseball with 15 steals and 10 home runs. He's batting .274 with 11 home runs and 18 stolen bases. And Ayala behind another hitter, 2-1. So 2 of those runs charged to Chen. So 6 1/3 innings for Chen and 6 earned runs.
Which equals the most amount of runs he's given up since the national game.
Off speed pitch, foul tip held by Waiters. So this game has come down to the long ball. The Indians have 3 of them, and they have a couple of Earl Weavers. 2 3-run home runs and a solo. The Orioles have a 2-run home run from Hardy. 7-2 game. And then it's high, ball 4. So Ayala's come on with 1 down, a 3-run home run, and now a walk.
Yeah, Joe West, he's umpiring the way you're supposed to, not giving you balls off the corner. You watched last night's game with Kerwin Danley, an extra 3, 4, 5 inches, and not supposed to be the way it is. Joe's very consistent tonight. But again, you look at the scoreboard, their pitching has been better than the Orioles. Or shall we say their hitters have been better than the Oriole hitters. Either way, you're down by 5.
See Kochman batting just .227, but he does have 6 home runs and 27 RBIs. And there's a strike at the knees.
And that's what we talked about. Past history, good for Casey, as was last year. Yeah, I mean, he played for a team that got to the playoffs. That was Tampa Bay. Hit over 300, hit 10 home runs. And one of those, probably his poorest defensive years ever. He made 2 errors, because most of the time he doesn't make any. And when you look at his numbers over the years, most errors at first base, 3. And that was in 137 games.
Just off the plate.
That's how good he's been. Of course, that's why he has the highest fielding percentage in the history of any first baseman.
Two is hit to second, could be 2. Roberts, Hardy, there's 1, back to first, and a double play to end the inning, but not before the damage done, as the Indians extend their lead to 7-2. 7th inning stretch brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey. Fly straight, drink responsibly. It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Now, Luis Ayala on the Orioles bench. He came in to try to quiet a rally, couldn't do so. 3-run home run by Asdrubal Cabrera, and it's now a 7-2 game. And welcome back in the booth, Jim and Jim, as the Orioles are looking for that explosion. The Indians, they came in here looking to get better. Well, so far so good through 7 innings. Orioles just with the one big blow. They're still looking to put those group of hits together.
And we haven't seen that in a while. Indians had lost 5 in a row. They went up to New York. Again, they're playing better than anybody in the American League, 19 out of 24. So they're happy to come here, mainly because the Orioles aren't playing well. And how many times have we heard Buck Showalter tell us, nobody feels sorry for you. They don't care that Markakis is not playing. They don't care that your starting pitching's not up to stuff. They don't care if you're not getting hits with runners in scoring position. So they're going to come in here, and they're going to try to do better, and so far they have.
And Ryan Flaherty, first ball swinging, a fly ball to center field, so he's retired, and a quick out here in the 7th inning. Aaron Cunningham is now in the game in left field, so he takes over for Johnny Damon. As with a 5-run lead now, Manny Acta wants the defense out there. So you're down by 5, and you swing at the first pitch and a fly ball out. Pitchers love that.
Well, they do, but he did throw a strike, so that certainly gets you on the right track. And then the other factor is that the scary thing is that, of course, the Angels are playing very well. Indians aren't, but the Angels came in here 13 last night, 7 the night before, and then tonight already 7 on the board.
Ryan Roberts pops it up. Shortstop Cabrera calls. And 2 quick outs here in the 7th inning. Time for you to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. Here are the candidates. Wilson Betemit, who is 2 out of 2 plus a walk, extending his hitting streak to 8 in a row. How about Johnny Damon, a 3-run home run, or J.J. Hardy, a 2-run home run? Text in your vote now. Have your voice heard. A, B, or C to 31826.
Yeah, I look at this game, and Damon hits a 3-run home run. Other than the hanging slider to J.J. Hardy, McAllister pitched very well. He put him in a position where he didn't have a big inning. He didn't walk a lot of guys. 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. And Edwin Jackson said it last weekend. You want to be the best pitcher on the field that night, and that's what that's really the responsibility of the starting pitcher. That's the lesson plan, so to speak.
Well, the other way to succeed is pitch as the Indians have tonight. In 6 of the 7 innings the Orioles have come to bat, the first 2 batters in the inning have been retired back-to-back. And there's a ground ball to short. Cabrera will get it across, and Avery's out, and the Orioles go quickly and quietly here in the 7th, 3 up, 3 down. We'll head to the 8th. The Indians in control, leading at 7-2. of $800 from the Maryland Lottery. For your chance to be the Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, play Strike It Rich scratch-offs and enter your non-winning ticket codes at mdlottery.com/strikeItRich. And Pedro Strop comes on, Jim, the pitch here in the 8th inning, and try to keep it as is.
Well, that and get a little tune-up. Last pitched on Sunday. Look at those numbers. Walks a little bit high, but they don't hit the ball very often. And 69% of the time when they put the ball in play against Pedro, it's on the ground. And right-handers, it is not a free lunch. 169. Got to keep them sharp in case you get the lead. I don't mean tonight, but just in general. As you mentioned, probably one of those combination things. Get him his work and have a shutdown inning and hope that you have some late offense that, again, has been very difficult to come by.
Michael Brantley will lead off. And the breaking ball for a strike.
That's what I like about Pedro. He throws at 96 to 99 and he drops off a hook, or his version of a slider, which sometimes can be a little bit harder, a little softer. And there's the sinker.
Tapper right back to him. Underhand toss to Reynolds, and one away here in the Indians' 8th inning. 2110 Utah Street, presented by Southwest Airlines, returns to Camden Yards on Sunday. Birds and Indians at 135. For one low price, you receive a reserved Utah Street bleacher seat and the exclusive 2110 Utah Street t-shirt. Space is limited, so join in early, your fellow fans of Vic Markakis and Adam Jones. 888-848-BIRD, or get online at Orioles.com. 21 is there in spirit. 10 is in the outfield. Brantley's out. Here is Shelley Duncan. And there's 21.
Again, the Hammett bone injury, the surgery, ensuing surgery, and just waiting for the stitches, which are almost healed. What was the initial time period? What,
3 to 4, I thought. Or 5 to 6.
Yeah. And that looks like what it's going to be. I mean, Nick had every intention of being back within 2 weeks.
The key for him is not to rush it and have a setback. You'd love to get him in before the break. There's Rogers getting loose, another right-hander. But even if he can't play until after the break, because of the 4 days off of the All-Star break, that buys him half of a week and then a day. Now, he wouldn't like to hear us talking like that. But
now, during the All-Star break, are the minor leagues playing?
The low minor leagues are.
Okay, so there you go. So you could be doing rehab, being prepared.
South Atlantic League and the Carolina League, they've already had their All-Star game, so their break is over. That ball's hit the center field. Adam Jones in on it and plays it on a hop. Hit hard off the bat of Shelley Duncan. Looked like a knuckleball as well. Yeah, so he could go out on a rehab while the All-Star break is going on. And he's certainly going to need some at-bats. Yeah, the AAA All-Star game is the day after the Major League All-Star game, and Jason Birkin has made the All-Star team for
Oh, really?
Norfolk.
Congratulations.
Good fastball there as Cunningham fouls it off, his first at-bat. Took over defensively for Johnny Damon. Well, the Indians continue getting men on base. They now have 8 hits. They've drawn 4 walks, and there's been a hit batter, so 13 base runners on the night.
And this is a team that only scored 13 runs in their last 6 road games.
Good looking breaking ball there, 1-2 on Cunningham.
It's just, we talked about humidity, low humidity being luscious. Get some guys on and pop some home runs on a couple of occasions like they did tonight, and all of a sudden your offense. What slump? What period of adjustment? Things are all land in Wahoo land.
Aaron Cunningham has bounced around. He's been in pro ball since 2005. Born in Anchorage, Alaska, and then moved to Phoenix.
Actually, I
grew up in Washington State.
Yeah, he actually came over. Well, he's been traded. He went to Oakland in the Dana Evelyn trade, and so he's been around with the Padres. Came over to the Indians. What I've always heard is he's a terrific defensive player, and that's why he's in for defense. You have the lead. You know, those role bench players.
Duncan Esgena's lead off first, 3-2 with one down. He does not go, and it's hit towards third. Betemit has it bounce past him and into left field. So the hard infield and the bouncing ball into left field, and 2 on with 1 down. Well, we'd all like to send out a get well message to James Edrington of Lutherville. He's a big friend of the organization, recently underwent surgery. We wish him a speedy recovery and hope to see him out here at the ballpark real soon. So James, get well. So 2 on with 1 out. And here is Jack Hanahan. That, by the way, has been ruled an error on Betemit, so there's his 12th.
67th error of the year for the Orioles, which it's a category you don't want to lead the American League in, but they do.
There's a bouncer towards first, backhanded by Reynolds to second out there, back to first. Strob's foot is off the base, the ball gets away, but Brian Roberts alertly backing up.
Yeah, big time slide by Cunningham, and J.J. Hardy's got to dust himself off. So nice play by Mark Reynolds. There's your throw, and there's the slide, comes right at him, and it's his job. And Pedro Slope, former middle infielder, can't quite get it because what he's trying to do is catch the ball and keep the foot on the bag. Couldn't do it, and then Brian does a nice job, heads up play. Otherwise they would have had another run.
So that'll bring up the number 9 batter, Marzin, with Hanahan on at first. Marzin is 1 out of 3, doubled and scored in the 7th. Yeah, the defense without a doubt is a concern of the organization because it's just too many errors. Not only does it give the opposing team extra base runners, all the extra outs and extra swings that the opponents get by not making plays that many times are routine. The Orioles now have 34 fielding errors to go with 33 throwing errors.
Well, you know that wasn't the game plan. Wilson Betemit, they thought if everybody stayed healthy, he'd be the DH. And he probably would have been. So he wouldn't have played a lot, but play maybe every once in a while to spell. You thought Mark Reynolds, after, what, 28 errors last year? 29 errors, 28. Came to spring training, lost about 15 pounds, and maybe he would be better. Chris Davis would be at first, and the defense would not be as bad as it turned out to be. And then, of course, Raimo goes down, so you've had all kinds of left fielders and a lot of stuff going on this year.
Well, and the alarming thing with the errors, Jim, is the 33 throwing errors. I mean, many of them are just on ground balls to a position player. Plenty of time to throw it across, and the throw sails.
Yeah, I think the biggest disappointment is probably Robert Andino, who we know can pick it. Most of his errors, if not all, are on throwing.
And it's high, ball 3, and again, the Indians with a patient at bat.
Well, it's a lot easier to be patient if you throw ball 1. And you've said it all night long, Jim, that Joe Smith comes in, what's he doing? Throwing nothing but strikes. So if you want 1 pitch, 2 pitch outs, Wei and Chen couldn't do it because he didn't have as good command tonight.
He walks the number 9 batter to load the bases. As Lou Marson will go down to first base, and Rick Adair out for a chat with Pedro Strop. Pedro, as Jim mentioned, worked last Sunday, against the Nationals. And he had a scoreless third of an inning. He had pitched an inning the day before where he was a little bit erratic, deep counts, a base hit, but did not allow a run.
Well, his stuff's so good, and again, you saw the graphic 20 pitches, so they wanted to tune him up in the error, and this is another effect of the error. Yep. Yes, the inning should be over, and so again, the tune-up in 25 pitches or whatever, which it could be up, that's not what you had in mind. And then, not to mention, you get one of their best hitters already with a home run the other way, Chu to the plate.
Fastball taken for a strike.
Well, it's just hard to believe you can get the ball to move and sink as much as Pedro is able to do it at 98 miles per hour. Electric stuff.
Foul back out of play, and it's 0-2. Oh, that ball ricocheted back off the facade. And the 0-2 is a called strike 3. Got the breaking ball in there and froze him. And Pedro gets out of a big jab. So a hit, a walk, an error, and 3 men left. We go to the bottom of the 8th as Strop gets out of it as the Indians maintain their 5-run lead. Birds trail 7-2. This season, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield will contribute $50 to support the American Heart Association Heart Walk. To date, the Orioles have drawn 211 walks for a total of $10,550. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and a more active lifestyle. 7-2 game. We go to the 8th, and Maniaca goes to his bullpen for another right-hander.
That comes out of the Colorado Rockies organization. They picked him up on cash. For cash on June 13th. He was not pitching well for them. 23 earned runs, 25 2/3 inning, DRA of over 8 runs a game. But with the Indians, and again, their bullpen not where they'd like it, except for their closer, he's done a nice job. And only an earned run in 2 of the 6 appearances. We get to see him for the first time. In fact, we get to see this whole ball club for the first time.
So, Esmiel Rogers, who's out of the Dominican Republic and 26 years old. So that 8.06 ERA with the Rockies this year, is that Esmiel or Coors Field?
Well, he got Guthrie disease. It is tough to pitch up in. Boy, I turned the TV on last night. I thought Jeremy was pitching in a 1-0 game. He's been relegated to the bullpen. It was 9-1.
Yeah.
And so it's been a struggle for him, as it is for a lot of pitchers in Colorado. Obviously, this mill prefers pitching at
sea level
or lake level, I guess, if you're in Cleveland.
That's right. J.J. Hardy takes high 1-0, and J.J.'s had a breakout night tonight. 2-run home run in the 5th. First home run since June the 8th against the Phillies. He had gone 72 consecutive at-bats without a home run. He also had only 2 RBIs over the last 16 games, covering 69 at-bats before that 2-run shot. And a fly ball to right. That's playable for Sin-Soo Choo. And 1 down in the Oriole 8th inning, and again that leadoff man retired by the Indians pitchers. Fans, the start time for the Saturday, July 14th game against the Tigers has been moved from 7:05 to 4:05. That's all to accommodate Fox Television. And that July 14th game marks the unveiling of the Jim Palmer sculpture as part of the Orioles Legend Celebration Series. So the ceremony now begins at 2:15. Gates will open at 2. For your tickets, 888-848-BIRD or visit Orioles.com. Number 22 will be honored with a statue. Look at that young guy.
Look at the hair.
So Saturday, Earl's statue goes up. He'll join Frank. And then 2 weeks after that, Mr. Palmer.
Well, a lot of memories with those two guys. Just as the modern day Oriole fans going to have a lot of memories with Adam Jones. So this guy's got a nice little arm here at 96. That'll get some hitters out if he throws enough strikes.
Jones is 0 for 3 on the night. And that's outside. And again, the theme for the Indians tonight has been very simple. As Jim Johnson gets loose, he needs an inning of work. So it looks like he'll come on in the 9th regardless. 7 of the 8 at-bats for the Orioles tonight, the first batter has been retired. Adam pops it up a mile high in the infield. Rogers is there, Hanahan is there, and the third baseman has it for the out and 2 down.
Yeah, so again up the ladder. 96, 97. Well, I was told a long time ago, and you try to pay attention when older players tell you this, and you start looking at numbers. If you can get the first batter out, about 15% of the time they score. And if the first batter gets on year in, year out, it's usually in the high 40%. So that's a big swing. And my theory, because I've had a tendency to be wild a little bit, I could get the first guy out, walk the bases loaded, and still get a double play ball. Maybe that's going over the top a little bit, but.
Well, not only have they retired 7 of the 8 leadoff men for the Orioles in innings, as Rick Adair talking with Pedro Strop about his inning. In 7 of the 8 innings tonight, the first 2 Oriole hitters have been retired. Very difficult to mount any kind of a rally when there's 2 outs and nobody on, and the Indians have been able to do that 7 of the 8 innings tonight. The only inning the Orioles got their leadoff man on was Ryan Flaherty's single in the 5th, and that was the inning Hardy hit the 2-run home run with 2 down.
Well, we saw the Angels come in here, and again, they're averaging about 5 runs a game, and the impressive thing about them, and they have a nice lineup, is the way they use the whole field. And if you use the whole field, it's just difficult to defense. It's more difficult to pitch. And that's what good hitters do. You make a good pitch down the way, they hit it the other way. So a good pitch is sometimes reduced to a base hit.
2-2 on Davis, who is 0 for 3.
And I think the trend this whole year has been not really doing that, hitting home runs. And when you hit a lot of home runs, and it's fun. I mean, I didn't like giving them up, but I hit a few. It's fun running around the bases, but it gets you in bad habits. You overswing. That's why the strikeout total up. Walks go down, you chase, you try to do maybe too much with quality pitches, and you get yourself out.
And Davis down on strikes again. So he strikes out, and the Orioles go 3 up, 3 down for a 2nd consecutive inning. We'll head to the 9th, 7-2 Indians. on MASN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Dodge, see your authorized Dodge dealer and experience a world of performance, design, and fuel efficiency. Schedule a test drive or go to Dodge.com and check out our powerful lineup. A youngster trying to get into the dugout. 17,676 on hand on this Thursday night. And Jim Johnson needs an inning of work, so here he is in the 9th inning.
Yep, not a close situation. One of the best in the American League. Boy, has he been good. Doesn't matter if you're right-handed, left-handers. Lefty's hitting 159. Righty's a little over 100. Been that good.
And like Strop, he has not worked since last Sunday when he earned a save to close out the rubber game against the Nationals. First ball swinging is Cabrera. This is going to be a tough play. Nobody at first base. Roberts gets there late, and that's an infield hit.
Well, you're taught, I got it, you take it. But sometimes you just don't know. This is perfectly situated swinging bunt, and that's what it is. Good sinker. Now, if you can't get to it, which you couldn't, or if you hesitate, then by the time Mark Reynolds catches it and heads up play by Brian Roberts, nice play. And Cabrera says thank you. I'll hit 3-run home runs and get infield hits. It's a good night.
Jason Kipnis. Kipnis is 0 for 3 with a walk. Cabrera, 3-run home run his last at bat. Now an infield hit on a swinging bunt, and that's down and in ball 2.
Yeah, one of the difficult innings for a guy like Jim Johnson, because you're coming in to get work, but it's meaningful because you need the work, but it's not meaningful for what you're usually used to doing.
Right, you don't want to have a real high pitch count inning. This is game 1 of a 4-game series.
So a little bit of a challenge.
It's a late afternoon game, 4 o'clock on Saturday, and a day game Sunday following tomorrow's night game.
Yeah, good take there.
Kipnis has flied out twice, struck out, and walked. And he has walked again. So the first 2 reach against Johnson in the 9th inning. It's amazing how a real good pitch, which turns into a swinging bunt, can begin to set up an inning. Instead of 1 out, nobody on, let's go get the next batter. Now he's working from the stretch. He's got a man on base.
Well, that's the ebb and flow of 162 games. Well, sometimes when you start, you pitch well and you get a bunch of runs and you're happy. Sometimes you pitch well and you don't get any runs and you're not as happy, but you still pitch well. And then there are games where you're really disappointed because you don't pitch well, you don't get any runs.
Watchman is second, could be 2. Roberts to Hardy, back to first, and a 4-6-3 and 2 down.
So happiness has now covered the mound because Jim Johnson gets Casey Kochman to do what Jim Johnson wants you to do, put the ball on the ground. Nice little double play, 4-6-3. And you could see the Indians really coming in. I mean, this is the second time that J.J. Hardy really has to play dodgeball. That's the way you're supposed to play the game. Doesn't matter what the scoreboard is. Clean slide.
And Cabrera ends up at third. Now here is Brantley has had a good night. Takes inside.
Yeah, his dad, a former major league player, Mickey Brantley. Reminds me a little bit of like Ryan Sweeney. You know, maybe not quite as big, but a guy that both left-handed hitters.
Wieters had to hustle that ball at spin. He didn't want it spinning back fair.
Yeah, both good defensive players. Brantley with a little bit more speed, but neither of them hit a lot of home runs. And Sweeney now with the Red Sox. But anytime you have a 22-game hitting streak, you've had a nice little stretch.
Yeah, we saw when Adam Jones had his streak. He found a way to keep it going. 1-1 on Brantley. And down and in, ball 2.
And right there, Jim Johnson trying to throw a good changeup. Again, that's part of the tune-up inning. Use all your pitches. He's got a good one.
Slap foul the other way. So 2-2 on Brantley. Cleveland has done a real good job in their at-bats tonight, getting men on base in every inning except the first to keep the pressure on the Orioles pitching. And it's high, ball 3.
Yeah, they weren't supposed to be able to hit left-handed pitching. And the home run totals there, they'll probably play nine left-handed hitters against Jake tomorrow.
And the 3-2 is fouled off his foot. Yeah, their bench tonight had 2 left-handed batters. Kochman is already in this game, and Lonnie Chisenhall, and they also have their regular catcher Carlos Santana, who's a switch hitter.
Yeah, they played 9 lefties against Hiroki Kuroda of the Yankees, and Tomlin, who pitched against him, gave up 2, 2, and 2. So they were down 6-0 early in the ball game. So
there's another walk. So 2 walks in the inning, first and third with 2 down as the inning continues for the Indians. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. So runners on the corners with 2 down, and Shelley Duncan comes up. And it's down and in, 1-0.
yeah, it's kind of you made the point about the different approaches, and both Cleveland, the Indians, and the Orioles have played 74 games. They both average 4.2 runs a game. The Orioles hit home runs. The Indians, with the exception of the night, don't hit as many.
They get a call on the check swing as Sam Holbrook said he went too far.
Take a look right here, and well out there. Indians coming into tonight's game, 262 walks. The Orioles with 210, and that's why the on-base percentage is higher.
Paints the outside corner, 1-2. So 17 pitch inning for Jim Johnson, facing his 5th batter. Short at-bats for Cabrera and Kochman. Long at-bats for the other 3. Runner at first goes. Doesn't matter. There's strike 3 called. So Shelley Duncan is rung up. A hit, 2 walks, but a double play and 2 left. Bottom of the 9th coming up. The Birds down by 5.
Extra post game here from Baltimore's Camden Yards. And Rick, another night where too many long balls by the opposition.
Well, I know, and Wei Yin Chen, you don't expect him to give up the long ball. He's been pretty good. I'll tell you, Johnny Damon hits his 22nd home run here at Camden Yard. The guy's unbelievable against us. He's hitting 200 coming in. We make him look pretty good.
We'll have Buck Showalter's comments, player interviews with O's Extra post game. Begins right after the Orioles and the Indians game goes finish.
All right, Tom and Rick, thanks so much. So here we go to the bottom of the ninth, and the Orioles will try to make this at least somewhat uncomfortable for the Indians, get a few men on, and try to chip back. They're all trying to find their stroke, and
I'm taking your word for it.
One of these days,
I'm waiting.
They're going to break out.
Only 3 more outs to work with.
It's okay. Here's Matt Wieters.
You know what they're yelling in the dugout? Let's give them a finish. Let's get Chris Perez up in the bullpen.
7 in a row have been retired, all by the Indians relievers, Smith and Rogers. The last hit, Bedemeat's 2-out double in the 6th. That was the final batter the starter McAllister faced. And Wieters takes low, 1-0. Used to be in a situation like this, you'd take a strike. But nowadays they look for pitches and doesn't matter, and Wieters gets ahead 2-0.
Well, he ought to be taken here. And
there's a strike, so 2-1.
And it's not always easy throwing a strike when you know
that they're taking.
Because, again, it's in the head.
Wieters to left field, playable there for Cunningham. And he's got it for the out, and 1 down here in the 9th inning. Here's an update on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game as the fans got to their phones. And J.J. Hardy with that 2-run home run has the lead over Damon and Bedemeat. Still time to vote. Text it in A, B, or C to 31826. And Tom and Rick will have the results coming up on O's Extra Post Game. Look, they're doing it. Here's Bedemeat. There's a strike.
So now I see why they got this guy. Try to fix him.
You can't teach 96.
No, that's my point. Yeah, can't teach that either. So 96 with a good breaking ball. What does that remind you of?
Pedro
Strop.
Petey.
I mean, watch the leg kick, though. I could see that maybe if you're a little bit out of sync, that hard to command it. Watch this little turn, and there we go. Well, it's pretty straight down. He just throws it by him. As long as you don't swing the leg, you don't want the gate to close and then open, because if you do, your front shoulder goes with it. So he's able to get it down quick enough. Who he reminds me of is Rodimus Liz, who had a great arm, but his windup never could sync up. Raced his way through the minor league organization. But Manny Acta's got to be pretty happy with the way this one's played out. The young pitcher pitched well. The team that wasn't scoring a lot of runs did score a lot of runs, and the team that had a 5-game losing streak needs 1 more out, and that'll end.
Reynolds takes a strike on the check swing, and he's down 0-2. So after falling behind Wieters, nothing but strikes.
And it's Mr. Rogers' Playhouse the way he's throwing.
That's high. So he is making this his neighborhood.
Yes. For that stuff, all
Where's
you have
the sweater?
It's 97. Otherwise, he'd probably have it on.
And that's in the dirt.
And Marson ought to come out and just, hey, whoa.
Dude.
Yeah, well, when I was back in the day, when you actually have a complete game, you'd get ahead of yourself a little bit, and Etchebarren, Dempsey, Rod Hendricks, they'd come out and, hey, wait.
And Reynolds down on strikes for a 3rd time tonight, and that ends it. And the Orioles lose again as the Indians come in to snap their 5-game losing streak, and they do it with the long ball as they win it by the final of 7-2. Well, we hope you can join us again tomorrow. More O's action. Game 2 of the 4-game series against the Indians with Jake Arrieta taking on Derek Lowe. Our coverage begins at 6:30 with O's Extra on Masson 2 presented by Jeep. And then game coverage at 7 o'clock. And now for Jim Palmer and our entire hardworking crew, Jim Hunter saying so long from Camden Yards. Indians win it 7-2. Tonight's telecast has been a Masson presentation. Tom and Rick, O's Extra comes your way right now. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Game 2 of the 4-game series.